Hello, beautiful ones. Hopefully you all can see me and hear me. I'm looking to see who we have already here. It's a little tough to see when you're looking and it's sunny outside and all, but welcome to you all who are watching this video and to all of you who will watch this video later. If anyone sees that can't see me or can't hear me, just shoot me a note or comment. I'm not seeing anything to that effect. Hello. So let us begin right in with this conversation because it was really kind of amazing. First of all, my name is Lorelei Fenton, and I'm a light worker, which is meaning I bring in light of God and the spiritual light, the divine light. And I'm a crystal healer, an energy healer. I do transformational personal growth kind of work. I studied that for like 20 some years and did that for people as well. And nowadays hello. And nowadays I make videos, I manage sites, and I'm bringing forth these powerful conversations for the new earth of love, or humanity creating this new earth of love. But like many of you guys, we're talking today about my aha moment and how I saw this trans movement actually, unbeknownst to me, actually could solve a lot of our problems, right? And I was, because I'd been worried about it. It seemed a little strange to me what was going on out there with this trans movement. But I suddenly woke up in the middle of the night with all of these thoughts like going through my head, like that. And so I had to sit down and write them all down so I could share them with you. Because there's a number of ways that this trans movement actually is going to assist us, okay? So I have a list here. I might look down now and then so I remember, because there was quite a lot of things that came to me. So here's the first thing. The race problem, okay? Now watch, we're walking around, in our life, and seems to be this race problem. So some guy's walking down the street, and he looks like he's an Asian guy. So somebody starts up with him, right? And gonna start trouble because he's Asian. He goes, no, wait a minute. I don't identify as Asian. I actually identify as Kenyan. And the other guy's, well, whoa, I'm from Nigeria. My family's from Nigeria. And before you know it, they're all having a drink. They're having a drink at the bar and they're laughing and they're joking. They're having a great time. Because if you don't know what somebody is, how can you be racist against them? And it's a lot of trouble to go out and ask every person, well, you kind of look like you're black, but I'd like to be racist, but are you black? Or are you Asian? Or are you Jewish? And, you can't do that, right? It's a lot of work. So there you go. There goes one problem, the race problem, out the window. Another one, we all love our kids, right? Everybody loves their kids. Now, we hate to see our kids lose, right? So here's an idea. We can just identify as, in this new world of identify as, we can have our kids identify as if they have a disability. And then they can join the Special Olympics. And then they can win. Isn't that great, right? Now, you already have that going on with a lot of these guys who are really mediocre athletes, right? They're not very good. In fact, some of them are quite lousy, but they go out and they compete against women and they win. Isn't that great? So you see, everybody gets to win. It's a wonderful world. Now, Elizabeth Warren, she had that issue with having, gone on to a college application and claimed herself as Native American. Well, that problem goes away. Just identify as. You can identify as anything you want. You can identify as Asian, African, Chinese, whatever you like. And then you won't be lying, right? Because you're identifying as. And meanwhile, all of those places where you put those applications in, they get to say they have all this diversity. Isn't this great? This is working well, isn't it? So now to the problem of lying, right? Okay, we've all had the kid who comes in with the chocolate smeared all over his face, and you say, did you eat that box of cookies? And he says, no. Well, how about now? He just says, Mom, I don't identify as having eaten those cookies. There you go. There goes lying. Nobody ever lies again because it's all identify. Now, he won't get a tummy ache or he won't get, fat or anything because, as we know, like with the trans movement, if you say you are a different, say gender, then you are that. So all he has to say is, I'm not fat and I don't have a stomach ache and all is well, right? Now, this brings personal growth to a whole new level, I have to tell you. Now, I'm a personal growth aficionado, and we talk about acting as if. Well, this is the quintessential act as if. You really just literally act as if and have everybody else, they have to act as if with you, right? It's pretty good, isn't it? This is working out well. Now, you can go into a store. You can say, listen, I identify as owning all that food or those shoes or that shirt or whatever, and just take it. That's perfect, huh? Now watch. They're already doing that in California, so they're way ahead of the curve. So now we've not only solved all of those problems before, but we've solved the problem of starvation and poverty. Go take what you want, no problem. Isn't this great? This is working out well. Isn't this working out well? I can see this is working out well. Let's see, there was a couple other things. You want to get some government assistance? No worries. Just identify as disabled. Now, the government cannot come after you and say you're lying because you can identify as anything you want, and what your word is law, and that's true. So you get the assistance. Isn't this great? Now, the government, likewise, can identify as having tons and trillions of money and trillions of dollars and all this and just make it up out of thin air because they identify as that. And wait a minute. They're already doing that. I forgot. So there's no change really there. They just make the money up. But that's good. But they already got that online. So they were ahead of the curve. This is working out well. Isn't this doing well? Now, to the trans in the military. I know we were all a little concerned about that. But actually, this is perfect. Because here's what we do. This is just a really good way to deal with this. As the trans people are running across, the battlefield, right, in their high heels, and they got their big orange wig and their big old red lips, right, and they got a water pistol because they don't believe in violence, and so they're running and they're getting their high heels stuck in the dirt and stuff, and the other side is laughing, and we come up behind them and we lob the grenades over their head, right? Woo! There you go. It's working out well. Isn't this working out well? Everything is going so perfectly, I have to tell you. This is going to be really good for us. Now, taxes. Don't worry about taxes because you can just claim, for instance, you're an animal. You're a dog or a cat or a horse. And then, animals don't have to pay taxes. So there you go. And the government can't say word one because what you identify as that is the law, right? See how this is working well? Now, they actually got this down in the school systems because the kids are pretty smart and they're, crawling around the hallways, meowing and barking in the classroom. And guess what? They don't have to do homework because dogs and cats don't do homework. This is good. This is good. It's working out so well. Our society is going to be so great. I'm trying to think if there is anything else. Oh, yes. Listen, people that are drunk, they can always work because they can just say, hey, I identify as if I was, sober. And sober people, they can go into the rescue missions because they identify as if they have an addiction. And now everybody's taken care of, and we've taken care of homelessness and addiction. And look at it. We've solved the world's problems. Isn't this great? Let's give ourselves a hand. Now, I don't know if you ever watched the Carol Burnett show, but on the Carol Burnett show, they are doing all these crazy, there's a comedy show, and they're so good, and they're so wonderful. They're doing all these crazy antics, and they always, sometimes, it became kind of a running gag that they would be so funny that they would start laughing at themselves, being so funny, being so ludicrous, being so ridiculous, and over the top. And so I have to tell you, I've hit my Carol Burnett wall. I'm really ready to start laughing at all of the ludicrous things I just said. Absolute, insane, stark, raving lunacy. But the scary thing is, it's already going that way. Yes, it is. People are not even thinking. I mean, there seems to be a largesse of people in this alleged movement where there's no thought whatsoever about the elephant in the living room. Like, what about that person you stole all that food from? That grocery store? that mom and pop shop? You know, what about those girls who train their whole life to go and try to win something, and now they got this big brawny guy beating them, and they give up and forget about it? I'm not even going to do it. What about all those children who are now being harmed, not just at risk, but being harmed because we have put them in harm's way around all of these predators with our eyes wide open? And they go in this gay pride, they go in this rainbow pride parade, and I have seen the videos as they march down the street at the top of their lungs chanting, "We're here, we're queer, we're coming for your children." And they say it, and they say it out loud in the street. And two march down the street naked as a jaybird, except a black strap coming down their butts from the back. Two men holding the hands of an innocent little 2-year-old as they march down the street, as if to say, yes, I am going to sexually abuse this child. What are you going to do about it? Nothing. Well, I say, we're here, we're not queer, and you're not getting away with it. You're not. Take a deep breath, Lorelei. We are going to stop you. We are not going to allow this, because we see it, folks. We see it. We see this movement is not innate. We see this movement is not natural. It is not organic. The masses of the people are not okay with you harming our children. We're not okay with this. And we're not going to allow it. And we're going to do everything in our power. And I'm calling on you right now. I'm calling on you to do everything in your power, whatever it is, to stop it. Last night, I saw the movie Sound of Freedom. I can't say the whole thing or they may take this video down. And it broke my heart. It's about trafficking of course you guessed it, children. Of course you guessed it, into the sex trade. And if you have any kind of a hurt inside of you, that movie will break it. It's not graphic. Of course, don't bring your kids. Go see it. You can get free tickets. People are buying other people tickets to see it so that the mass media cannot win and keep you from seeing it. My friends, this conversation touches close to my heart because I was a child victim of torture. And everything, this morning I almost didn't do this video because the pain of what I saw yesterday just brought it all back to me, and I didn't even want to necessarily get in front of the camera, but I've done many years of personal growth, and I've gotten rid of the vast majority of it, and sometimes a little twinge comes here, and so I got up here in front of you because I'll tell you this. Every person who has been tortured or harmed in any way, such as this, carries the scars for a lifetime. If we could go out and find those 2 million trafficked children right here today and get every single one of them to safety, it would still be a 10, 20, 30-year process for each and every one of them to get rid of the scars of what happened to them. And still I tell you, and I tell you from my heart, better to be that child who has been harmed than to be that one who harms them. Because the wrath of God comes upon those. And you will live a life devoid of love and devoid of your soul. You will live an unspeakable hell for every instant of your life in fear if you are the one who harms those children. I'd rather have me have had the abuse than to have been the abuser. Beloved ones, the work that I do, we all have to do whatever we have to do. Go out, change the laws, get up and protest, do whatever we have to do, each and every one of us, to make sure that children are safe in our society. Everything from this trans nonsense of an agenda, which is somebody's behind it. There's money behind it, and it's not the good, normal people of our country, I can assure you. It's not the masses. It's not the 99%. So we have to do whatever we have to do to take them all down. And then there is my work, which is bringing us to unity consciousness. Having us, each and every one, understand at a very young age, before we get involved in harming other people, that when I harm you, I harm me. And this is what all of my work is about, and particularly my meetup, which I would love to have you join. We have a Bliss-Out coming up. I call it a Bliss-Out because we get into bliss, we get into joy, we're bringing the divine light, and we bring in the understanding, the unity consciousness, and the meditations. Like when those 100 Buddhist monks went into Central Park and they meditated for an hour and the crime rate dropped to nothing. Our consciousness is so very powerful. So I ask you to join me, have your friends join me in bringing forth that new earth consciousness. Join the meetup that you'll see in the notes. And lastly, if you'd like to support my work and help me get the message out, this is huge for me. I will tell you also that every single child of any kind of torture or violent abuse carries around in the back of his or her head for probably a lifetime, I have to stay out of the limelight. I have to be incognito. I have to not be seen. I have to not be heard. I have to be quiet. I have to fly under the radar and make sure I'm not seen and heard by others, because it is dangerous. It is dangerous to have our voice heard. It is dangerous to have our face seen. And so we live creating that anonymity. I've had these powerful videos. I think they're powerful. I've made for many, many years, but they sit with not a very huge audience, because I think largely because in the forefront of my brain, I want to make a big difference for others. But in the back of my brain, there's still that fear of being seen and heard and known. I don't want this to be about me. It's not about me. It's about those 2 million children. Let's be very clear. It's about that. But I can help them with your help in supporting me. And we can help them. Not I. We can help them all together, coming together in groups like mine and supporting such things and just making our voice heard. I have gotten back to love in the light of God, and it was a long, long, long journey, but I got there. And this is my deepest desire for each and every one of those children. And do see that movie. God bless you. Love to you all.